So looking at this part, there is a way if you did want to mid-surface the entire thing and create a plate mesh that kind of represented this wing. Right now, let me pop into wireframe mode, and you'll see that there's no curve on the front here, so I really want a curve. So I'm going to do a modify, break, and pick the two airfoil curves and break them at 0, 0, 0, and that'll put a point on the front. Then we got a command in Femap called curve from surface and split point to point. So I want to split from there to there. So now I have a curve on the front. Now on the trailing edge, I notice it's actually not it's not actually a curve in the middle. It's kind of cut off a little bit. So I want to put a curve down the middle of this guy. Now under geometry, curve from surface, there's also parametric curve. Let me change this, picking the front. Pick him, and it shows me kind of the UV direction. So that's the U direction. And I want to pick a point, and I'm going to say at the CG of the surface. And again, we're in front mode. So now what that'll do is just burn in a curve back there. So now what I'll do is do geometry, surface, and I'll create a ruled surface that goes from that front curve. And I'm on front mode right now. Let's go back to normal. And then I also want to go to that curve I made down the middle, which is here. So now I've created a new surface kind of at the center of this airfoil. Let me turn off the wing for a second. Now I can mesh him. And let's just set some sizing. And it's guessing. Let's just make it a little tighter so we get better. We'll go even tighter than that. Let's go down to 25. And let's just lay down a mesh. And I'm going to create a new property. I'm just going to give it a default. I'm not sure what the thickness is here. I will just make a guess because we're going to use a tool that automatically adjusts the thickness. So I'll just make this out of any material. Doesn't matter. And go ahead and mesh this. There are a lot of triangles in this mesh, so I'm going to pop into our meshing toolbox here and use some of the new Max Quads tools. So I'm turning off sizing, so it's not going to try to resize. It's just going to remesh the quads. And there's a little bit of skewing in there, so let's add some layers. We can get to a little bit better mesh. And then if you really want to get tricky, and let's say this might be the best thing for this part, let's resize, and let's go for our same size, but we'll say do a matte mesh. And now we're going to get a nice matte mesh on this part, so it's kind of just match the sizes on the edge. So let's use this. We have this nice new tool that's called Modify, Update Elements, and there's this mid-surface thickness and offset. And I'm going to pick elements and update them to our original solid 1. And what this is going to do is it's going to adjust their thicknesses and put them at the middle. And you'll see what it did is I'm going to turn on the thickness and offsets. So what we've done now is actually applied properties, or actually changed each element's corner thicknesses to match the corners, to match the actual thickness of that solid that it found. So you've actually kind of really simulating this airfoil shape with a single shell element mesh, but every element's got a different property or different thicknesses. So the list model element, we'll just list 2 of them here. And you'll see that it has varying thicknesses along the element. So each element gets assigned a single thickness at its middle, but it kind of now will represent the airfoil as shell elements.